Hi everybody, welcome to another Teams training video from New Fathom. Today we are on part 2 and we are going to be talking about activities and chat. And so I hope you like it. I know a lot of you are stuck working from home and you're being forced to use this Teams thing. But hopefully you'll use it and you'll find out that you actually really like it and you'll continue to use it when you're no longer working from home. So here we are. This is the Teams environment. We did an overview last time, and so now we're going to go over activities and chat, both of these right here. So the first thing to see is just your activities, and this is something that just shows you places that you've been mentioned and ways or channels that you're following. And we'll probably reference this as we go into other ones. But that's basically the extent of it. There's not really, much else to see here. But this is like if there's a new message for you, there will be a little dot up here that will show you that there's a new message. And let's see, I'll send one. Oh, it only happens if it's in a channel. If it's in a chat, it'll just show up in your chat. So let's see, a new message and a little red bubble. There it is. So when you have activity, it's going to show up here and it'll show a number between how many you have. And we'll get into where you'd find that, but you can click on the activity, and if it's unread, it will be bold, and you can see that it changed from bold after I clicked on it, and it actually shows you where it is. It's in Test Team General. And you can also mark this as unread if you wanted to keep seeing these notifications that you had those. So then it would show up here and it'd say, oh, I haven't read that one, I haven't read that one, haven't read that one. And so this is kind of, your activity center is kind of like your inbox for what's happened for Teams, but then your chat is its own inbox for messages. So that brings us into the chat function. So the chat function is really cool. You will have a one-on-one chat with other people. You could also have one-on-two or one-on-many chats. So this is just a one-on-one and you can search for contacts up here. You can also click on this little button and you can start typing. Who do you want to talk with? This person. And you can also keep adding people, and you could do a group chat. So this would be a group chat, and it would be a test group message between 3 people, Chad Bourne Harrison and myself being the test user. And if you wanted to add more people to that, you could go over here and you could view and add participants. And you could add people, or you could also leave this chat. Another thing that you can do in a test chat is you can say you can name the chat, and then instead of placing the person's name over here, it will have whatever name you want on that. You will also see files here. So if you were to add some files into this chat, here is a file test. And it has to wait till it uploads it, but then once it does, you can click that, and that is going to be a file, and now that file shows up here. So if this chat was going on for a long time and you're like, oh, I needed to find that file, instead of scrolling through all the chat history, you could just go to files and you could find that right here. And you can open it. Look at that. Here we are. So you can go back. So that's what that is. You can also add to all of your chats, whether it's a personal chat or a group chat. You can add additional tabs. So if you wanted to add a website or a OneNote into that chat, you could add that, and this works the same as the Teams channels do. But if you wanted to add a PDF that everyone's always referencing, like this is a really good idea to do with like new employees. If you're trying to train people on your handbook or some kind of document, you could add a PDF file. That one won't work, and you could just pin it onto it, and then they would be able to see that all the time, and you could just reference it right up here. On the personal chat, it's a little bit different. You have the chat, you have the files, but then you also have this organization view, which you may or may not have. And then this has just your activity with this particular user. So it's telling you that Harrison spoke with you in this channel. If you go to that user, you can see all the activity that they've had with you. So that's kind of cool. Another thing which works in group chats and individual chats is you can do calling. And so I don't have a video camera hooked up to this, but if I did, I could click the video camera button and I could start a video call with this user. I can also do an audio call since I have that, or I could share my screen. So if I'm wanting to show someone how to do something, like I'm their supervisor and I want to show them this is how you do this, you can actually share them either your entire desktop, either screen 1 or screen 2, or however many you have, or a particular window. So if I just wanted to share my Teams window and I don't want them to see everything else that I'm doing, then I would just choose that one. And whenever you're done, you can just choose to stop presenting, and that would be how you would end the conversation. So when the screen share has started, you're going to see this red outline around whatever application that you're using, and you can see that I minimize Teams and it still has that redness around it because that's what I'm able to see. So it only is showing this. So this is really nice if you just want them to see that. You don't want to show them what you're working on another screen. You can just share that. So that is super handy. There's also some presenting controls that you can have. You can pin it. You can give them control over the conversation, and then you can stop the presentation. So I'm going to stop presenting, and then you can rate that if you want to share the quality of the call. Go for it. Thanks for letting them know. So that's up there. If you're talking with someone and you just need to bring someone else into the conversation, that's a good thing to do. You could go up here and you could just add another person, and you can start by adding their name. Click that, and you can see that it jumped to this conversation I've already started with us three. And so that's how that works there. So that's that. That is really handy. You can also just do an audio call if that's what you want to do. It's a good way to do it. Dismiss. So neat stuff there. Now down here, you might think, oh, this is just normal. All you do is chat. No, you can actually do a lot. So you can just type regular text right here, and then you can click enter, or you can click this little airplane button that will send it right there. You can also, in all of these messages, if someone messages you, and sometimes that, like, you don't actually want to reply to the message, but you want them to know that you read it, a really good thing to do is to just hit the thumbs up. Hey, I got it, but I'm not going to send you a message saying I got it. And that is called a like. You can also say, oh, that makes me sad, but I don't want to talk about it. So anyway, you can do that. You can also mark these as unread, and you can also get it to read what it says to you. So if you click that, it will read. Look at that. There you go. And once it walks through this, then I can click play. And it went through this whole thing. You couldn't hear it because I have that muted. But anyway, that's cool. And you can also save these messages. And once again, if you save it, it's going to show up here under your saved messages. So I save that message, and there it is. And then when you're done with those, you can obviously click that button, which we covered the last time. The other thing, so you can type regular text. You can also click this little A with a paintbrush by it, and that's going to give you the full like formatting power of like Word. So you can do cool formatting. So you can do the strike through, you can do underline, bolding, all that stuff. You can do paragraphs. You could make that a heading, whatever you want to do here. You could also clear all formatting. Look at that. So that's pretty handy. You can also insert. Anyway, click around. You can see what you're doing. You can also delete the message. This is something that a lot of people don't know about, though. So we're gonna pretend we're not doing that. This is urgent. So if you have a message that is important, let's just say important, you can take this little exclamation point and you can mark it as important. And it's going to put this little special symbol on it, like you see up here. And that way it just kind of pops out at the person. Hey, this is important. And you can also mark a message as urgent. And if this message is urgent, it's going to notify that person like a pop-up every 2 minutes for 20 minutes. And that will break through that person's do not disturb. So right now you can see that I have do not disturb on, and it won't happen for me because I'm the one sending the message. But if I get a message, so let's say I have do not disturb on, which is going to stop all notifications from coming through. But if someone sends me an urgent message, that message is going to still pop through. So you can see urgent still pop through, but non-urgent, I'm not going to get a notification from that. So if we go up here, we can see the urgent one notified me, the non-urgent one did not. And that's because I have do not disturb on. If I had do not disturb off, I would get both of those notifications, and I would continue, and I will continue to get a notification for this until I reply. There you go. And so that's that if you have important messages. The other one, you can attach files. I already showed you that. You can also just click and drag those files. So if we go to a file folder and you just click and drag a file, you can bring it into the message. Drop your files here. Replace. And I already have that file. That's why it's pulling that in. There it is. And so you've shared that file with that person. You can also insert emojis. Look at all these fun emojis that you can do. Ahaha. And GIFs, which GIFs are fantastic. Let's see if there's any about the coronavirus. Something. There you go. That'll work. So Homer Simpson, look at that. The end is near. Those are really fun. I would highly recommend you get really good at, that's another one. Call your mother if you haven't. And you can also do stickers. So these stickers are interesting. So you can say, oh yeah, you can customize the text. You're the man. So there you go. And you can do, so office drama, who knows, memes, you can make your own. So pretty cool stuff. But that just adds a little bit of fun into the whole shebang there. You can also bring in a link from Microsoft Stream, which is their video sharing platform. And then you can also send praise to that person. Oh, hey, that didn't work. So you can also send praise. So if somebody did a good job, you can give them a badge. You have a kind heart. You are so kind, myself. Myself really thinks so. So there you go. Aw, look at that badge. So I just sent myself a badge because I'm so kind. So there you go. That is it. You can also just add links to other items. So if you wanted to link to the news, you could add it in there. There's lots of other things. But that is the extent of the whole chat. So if you have any other questions that I didn't cover, feel free to reach out, and I would be happy to take a look at those. And there you go. We can go from there.